Good morning, Portland. Justice for Qadira. This is week 121 down here in the square. This is a protest. It's obviously a public one. It's a non-violent one. Okay? But we keep getting down here. I want to remind you about why we keep coming down here. Okay? Our society is in trouble. Okay? What we have going on here, what we experienced here, I just want to remind you what it was, okay? We sent our daughter over to a neighbor's house to play, okay, with their daughter, okay? These just happen to be white people living in the Southwest Hills.
And again, I want to point out this was a married couple, male and female, because I think it's really important to point out that deviancy exists, you know, in all different groups. So I think certain groups are being singled out as being more deviant than others, and the majority of people on this planet are, you know, heterosexual, and they're doing this stuff plenty fine, okay? So I just want to point that out. Our daughter was injured by a male-female married couple.
These people just happen to be pedophiles. We didn't know that. Okay? These people said they were playing a naked game, okay, with our daughter and their daughter, okay? They said this, okay? They didn't tell us that this was what they were going to be doing with our child, but this is what they did. And they felt like they had every single right to be doing this to our child without our consent or knowledge. And so that's what they did, okay? Now, they were playing a game called Little House on the Prairie.
That's what they said.
That's what they said, folks. That's what they said they were doing. Okay? In a court of law, they got up in deposition testimony. This is what they said they were doing. Okay? This is nothing but a grooming game. Okay? The child molesters play. We didn't know that. Okay? But this is what they did. They mortally injured our daughter. This happened back in 2007.
And again, we challenge any doctor to come look at these records and say this wasn't a mortal injury, because, you know, the American Burn Association, they have parameters on that, and our daughter's, the diagnosis was burn 10 to 20% of her body. This was an 8-year-old, 59-pound child. So it should have taken her life. Burns are serious. She got no treatment. Because these people were related to a politician, she was in and out of the hospital in 17 minutes. That's what the record shows, okay? These are records that the other parties have produced. Now, she was also seen at OHSU a few times for this, and again, the appointments were short, and they gave no care. And when I mean no care, I mean no care. They just told us to go to the medical store and to get bandages and Silvadene and deal with this ourselves. I want everyone to be aware, because I don't think people know this. I didn't know it. Burns are internal injuries. They're not just external injuries. The skin is the body's largest organ. So if you get a burn over the size of a quarter, you need to get down to an emergency room immediately, because you can get sepsis and die. You need help.
Folks, you need to get not just to an emergency room, you need to get down to the burn center at Emmanuel Hospital, okay? Because burns are very, very complicated injuries, and that's why they develop specific hospitals to deal with them. This is not something you're supposed to be dealing with at your home by yourself without any medical supervision. But that's what doctors, several doctors at Providence St. Vincent and OHSU Hospital had us doing. That's what they did to us.
It was very traumatizing. I mean, we took care of this wound by ourselves.
They made us take care of this by ourselves. That's what they told us we needed to be doing. And they're medical professionals, so we believe them. We said, okay, well, we're not sure, okay? Really? Okay, well, we think it's getting infected. Are you sure? Don't come back to the hospital.
Yeah.
They said, no, it's fine, everything you're doing, without even looking at her. They said it's fine. Stay there at your house.
And let's be clear. There are records. So the reason, the authorities don't come down here and nobody wants to talk to us and all this has been going on for so long is this is a very well documented event. This is all documented. There's tons of paperwork. There's a living victim. There's tons of eyewitness testimony that, it'd be nice if we could actually get this out into the press, because then people could really understand the reality of what we're facing here in Portland, which is this, in fact, did happen. And we do attribute our daughter surviving to Jesus Christ, okay, to God, because we don't know how she survived. It took us a long time to figure out even what happened because we've never gotten any support or help. Every step of the way, we have fought the abuse of our daughter for the last 16 years. Me and my husband have had to travel against the grain, okay? And people don't like it when people do things that are against the grain in our society. So it doesn't even matter if they're doing the right thing. It's still going to be looked at as you're doing something wrong. So for those of you who have been seeing this protest for the last almost 2.5 years, you can see how we're viewed. We are viewed as people who are doing something wrong. Very similar to, people in our society who choose to live lifestyles that people don't agree with. And there's so many choices out there at this point. Everybody hates everybody. That's what I'm finding. I've waded out into the world of Twitter, and oh my God, I think everybody wants everybody gone at this point. Everybody's just focused on what they want to do. They don't want to make space for anybody else. They want to be angry, erase people, just basically wish people out of existence. And you can't do that. It's not going to work. We have to start making room for everybody, just like Portland needs to make room for justice for Qadira. Okay, you need to make room because we're here to stay. Okay, we exist. I know that that is something that many, many people here don't want. They don't want us to exist, but we do. And this story exists, and Qadira exists. And I'll tell you what, this is all not a good time for Qadira. Okay, this is not a good time for her. She's 24 years old. She'd love to move on, but until we can actually get a police investigation and actual justice and her medical care going in the right direction by having this acknowledged, we have to be out here doing this, okay? And it is not an easy thing to keep getting up and doing, but this battle must be fought. There's a lot of things right now in the world. There's a lot of battles that need to be fought because we have to figure out how we're all going to live together, or we're going to blow the place up. I think that's becoming very, very, very apparent. I got a feeling the other day really strongly that Putin's just going to nuke us. You know what I'm saying? We're all going to be basking in the radiation and eating bugs if we do not start pulling it together. Portland is a really central, important place to kick this off because we have every group here. Yes. Amen. Amen. And I do believe because this story exists and because me and my husband are out here, we can actually, I think we could probably change the world. I really do. But it's going to require everyone's help. And we just hope more people will get involved because we don't all have to be fighting like this. Just like me and my husband, we're not trying to fight with our public officials. We're trying to get them to see the error of their ways. We're not going to let this story go because this is really a global issue right now that we are facing, which is kids cannot consent, okay?
And public corruption is a serious, serious global issue on the planet, okay? You cannot have people in power doing whatever they want against the laws, against all the agreements that we have made in society. That's what happened in our daughter's case. We had judges, we had attorneys, completely disregarding the law. We have the police actively covering up crimes.
Because they're being told to, you know, and me and my husband, another thing they don't want to talk about, why we're not in the media, is we spend a lot of time in courtrooms. Our legal system is a joke. Completely.
It's a joke.
First of all,
it's a joke. Our legal system doesn't even have the ability to offer anyone justice.
The first thing that people need to understand that self-representation is key to self-governance. So we just got a win the other day. I'm going to wait for the train to go past. We're going to wait because I know that this is kind of, it gets loud. You want to check that? Check that, check that. I'm just going to let them, because it's so hard. Just for everybody for the camera, we get a MAX train in front of us, and we've just been informed that it's really hard to hear when the train is in front of us, so we're going to let the train go first.
Folks, I just want to let you know that we're beyond upset at this point, okay? We are determined to change the world. We are determined to change the world. It's changing the world or bust for us right now.
Right, because I'm going to tell you right now, I firmly believe in reincarnation, and I don't want to come back to this planet looking like this. The whole thing. The entry point is a disaster. You may not even get through anymore. And where you end up is a complete crapshoot. Now, I want to go back to the win we've had this week. My brother's case is going to be dismissed. For those of you who don't know, he was captured and tortured by the authorities. And this was very terrible. He was kidnapped against medical advice out of a hospital after he had a medical emergency and charged with a slew of crimes. He was thrown in prison for 1.5 years and tortured. We had to spend $27,000. My other brother had to take out his life savings. They put a $500,000 bail on my brother's head. This was for a first offense, which wasn't even really an offense. He was roofied in his own home. He had a medical emergency. He was blacked out. And I'm not kidding. They kidnapped him right out of the hospital. Then, after we finally got him out of jail, me and my husband got involved in his case, and I met with his public pretender, and this guy was doing nothing for him. And this was his third public pretender by the time I got involved. He had 3. None of these people were doing anything for him except for trying to feed into the system. So I want everybody to clue in. When you don't get involved with your own legal situation, even if you have an attorney, every piece of paper, every document that is generated, you must look at it, okay? You must look at it, not them. Don't expect them to tell you the truth, because we've been fighting my brother's case for a while, and they've kind of been disregarding everything. You know, they say he can't talk about justice for Qadira. They say he can't talk about the fact that the guy that was injured actually had a construction ladder fall on his head. There was a lot of things they were disregarding, but what was unearthed last week was paperwork showing that he was, that they actually kidnapped him. I mean,
the police kidnapped him out of the hospital.
His signature was forged on the arraignment papers. He wasn't even
by the judge.
Yes, he wasn't even at the arraignment. This was done at like 5 in the morning when the courts weren't even open.
2 o'clock in the morning.
So you got to be real careful when you get picked up by the authorities, because judges and attorneys, they're just used to working together, and they decide what happens in the courtroom.
And you are usually not involved in that process.
Exactly. So a lot of people, you know, they look at me and my husband sideways because they think, you know, we lost this case. No, our daughter had an attorney, and he literally fed her to the wolves. I mean, she didn't even testify in her own case. There were no doctors. There were no witnesses there. a joke. The greedy money worshipers, they want to sell everything that they're selling to adults to kids, and kids can't consent. The pedophiles also want to sell everything, their desires, to the children because the children can't consent. You know what I'm saying? And they want it to be okay for the kids to consent because they want to make the sex trade legal, essentially.
Folks, and human trafficking on this planet, it's a $150 billion a year business. That's big business, folks.
Everybody's involved, and I'll tell you what's going on.
What incentive do we have as a global population to stop such a big, booming industry?
Another issue with self-representation, I want to go back to what I was saying about my brother. Once we got involved and saw what was happening, he started speaking for himself because we were encouraging him. Okay, and he started looking at his legal work, and that's how this stuff actually was unearthed. But another thing to remember about self-representation is if you don't speak in the courtroom, they get to paint you as whatever they want to paint you as. So, you know, if you're just a poor, you could be a poor white person, you could be a poor black person, it doesn't really matter. If you never open your mouth, you will be what they say you are. So you can't be afraid to jump into this process. And I encourage everybody to start getting legal books and start learning about this because this is something you should have been taught in school, okay? If you will end up in a courtroom at some point in your life for some reason, you need to know what's going on in there or you have no chance. When me and my husband have been watching these arraignments and stuff, people are being sold like cattle, okay?
And usually we are walking into empty courtrooms. Nobody's watching what these judges, attorneys, DAs, nobody's watching what they are doing. There is nobody watching the store. These people are doing completely illegal things in your name.
It also, if you are not an active participant in the system, then you're not going to even be able to acknowledge how badly broken it is. It wasn't until me and my husband started trying to use the system that we began to see how truly broken it was. So we have a lot of work to do if we want to actually fix it and build, you know, this country called America.
Folks, there was a dream, I think, okay, that our forefathers had. It might not have been necessarily on the right path, okay? It might not have necessarily been being done for the right reason, but it was on the right path, okay? There was an acknowledgement made that people were sovereign individuals, that they had free will, and that they had authority, and that authority mattered. That was an understanding that we had a long time ago. But for some reason, that is not what is being honored here.
Yeah, that we were trying to create a place where people could be free. So we wanted to create a place where people could make decisions that go against the grain and that not everybody is doing their own free will choices and have a place to live that way, you know, unmolested essentially. And that's not what's happening now. All we have is a slew of rules and rules and more rules to essentially stop us from not treating people like they don't matter. But we don't need these rules to start treating people like they matter. We just need to start doing it. And I think that Portland is a really good place to start. We just need to start putting on a better presentation here in this country of what freedom looks like. If we want freedom to spread, if we want people to be able to have more free will choices, I think something that is a real problem here in America today is we've forgotten that there's people who live in the world, they have no choice. I mean, the women in Afghanistan can't even leave their house. Okay? They cannot leave their house. They're not even a part of a lot of the conversation Americans that we're having over here in this country because their choices are so limited. But we here in America need to start making free choice look like a good option to the rest of the world. And right now, you know, with our rotting cities and all this arguing over gender ideology because we're refusing basically to add these third spaces that are so badly needed, so people can practice this without it being such a big deal. I am tired of the arguing. I've been on Twitter and it's like, can we just tweak a couple things here? Let's just stop with all the under 18 stuff and let's build these third spaces and start acknowledging that we now have essentially a third sex, and that's okay. People need places to go, nice places, not shitty places, not places where you wear a badge or do something weird. Let's just create more spaces so people can feel safe where they are.
And let's stop trying to force people to be together because, folks, that is not working. That did not work. The civil rights movement did not help black people in this country. I just want you to understand that. It actually made it worse for them because the racism went underground. And the practices that we experienced in the court still are happening, even though it is against the law.
And that's what we see, actually. You know, you really see that happening in Europe, and you see that happening here in the U.S. is all this infighting because, oh, people are coming over the border. People are coming over the border because they can't live where they are. I don't know why we can't just raise the factory wages worldwide to the federal minimum wage. I see small business owners here in America breaking their back to pay $20 an hour, but you can't get corporations to pay $7.25 so somebody can have a middle-class life down in Mexico or wherever they are. What's the problem? $7.25 in these countries with these factories? These people would be ecstatic. They would go home, okay, themselves.
They would not want to leave, okay?
You know, and I don't see why we can't just start making some common sense adjustments so we can be on the planet together. This is a big planet. I think what's going on is our leaders don't want us to work this out.
No, they don't want us to be here. They do not want people here. They want everything for themselves.
You know, and that's another controversial thought I've been floating is I didn't realize that the population of Israel was so small. I mean, we're talking 9 million people, 7 million which identify as Jews. Why are we fighting this war over there? They can't expand into the Muslim world. They're not going to accept our way of life. What people don't know maybe about Tel Aviv is it's the gay capital of the world. Okay, of the world. So that part of the world, okay, the Russians, the Chinese, and the Arabs, they're not going to do this.
The Africans.
And the Africans, they're not, and that's fine. We can have one half of the world that's heteronormative and the other half that isn't, as long as we create space.
Non-conforming, okay?
Or non-conforming, or whatever you want to call it. There's space for everybody, but you got to create, you know, first of all, we got to make this look like a doable thing. Those countries don't even think that what we're doing over here can be done, so they're just, you know, I think Putin is itching to push the button at this point because he'll just take us all down because, you know, if people can't have their way, then they want everyone gone.
Folks, and that works really well for the people who are running everything because they don't want us here in the first place. We think they think we are using their resources, okay? It's not their resources, okay? This planet is the common heritage of every single living being on this planet.
So that's what I wanted to say. I want to go back to Israel. There is, you know, come on. We're fighting over a holy land. All the land is holy. I think I'm standing on holy land. I was born in Portland, okay? America is holy land. I don't know why the Jewish people, we don't need to part the Red Sea. Buy a plane ticket. American cities are dying. Why don't you come over here and help us? Because you can't expand over there. And I tell you what.
Not yet.
I tell you what. If the Jewish people would come back to America and let the Palestinians just have that spot, we could build up America. taking care of people here.
We can make freedom actually look desirable to the rest of the world.
You know, and we could keep some of these resources to build these facilities so we can practice these alternative lifestyles without forcing and lumping people together. Because I don't think there's anything wrong. I think in life you have infinite choices. I believe everything's a choice. You have infinite choices. As long as you're not hurting anybody, I don't have a problem with it. But you got to be 18 and over to start making those choices. And I'm hoping, you know, that when people reach the age of 18, that they are equipped to make those choices. Right now, that's not happening with the schooling we have. It's terrible.
Yeah, our public education system, once again, just like our justice system, is a joke.
It's not preparing people for the real world. And that's why we have this mess. Okay? And people are being blamed for it when what we have is leadership that doesn't want people here because the elites are very greedy, okay? And they're very, very greedy. They have, like, Bill Gates, like I said, I'm always talking about his 60,000 square foot mansion. I don't understand this way of life. You don't need all of that. I mean, I'm all for people having infinite choice, but one man in a 60,000 square foot mansion, and I've heard he bought up all the properties around it, and he's buying up all the farmland. What's his problem? You know, that's one of the things. If we could get this into the news, I'd like to sit him down and ask him that. Because it's a serious question at this point in time. You go ahead.
We can wait.
Yeah.
Folks, we're going to keep on getting out here. I know the people, your so-called leaders, don't want us out here. Okay? They don't want anybody out here talking to you about what's really going on. You know, how your society is really being run. Nobody wants you to listen to any of that. They just want you to drone away. Get back on your phone.
Well, that's why they decriminalized the drugs because they really don't want anybody here.
Yeah, they just want everybody to zone out.
It wasn't
like you don't have any responsibility here.
It wasn't to be kind. Although, again, I'm against banning things. I just think that people need to be making adult decisions. I think once you reach the age of majority, I just want to revisit that concept over and over and over because I think that parents have a right to teach their kids what they want to teach their kids, but when your child leaves the house, whatever those values are, they need to be tolerant, okay? That's it. That's it and that's all. I don't know why we are complicating the issue. After somebody turns 18, then they're going to have all kinds of choices, and hopefully, you know, their parents had 18 years to guide them. That's the parents' right. You know, and then adults have a whole nother set of rights, which is any free choice they want to make, as long as they don't hurt anybody. But we are way far afield of that right now. Way far afield of that. People are killing, raping, and stealing on a level that is eye-bleeding and heart-wrenching, and I don't want to look at it anymore. Me personally. Because I spend a lot of time trying to sort it out. I wade into all these arguments with people just to see if they can be stopped.
And folks, unfortunately, they cannot be stopped. Not until we step back as a race of beings and try to figure out why exactly it is that we are all here. And I'm telling you, it is to take care of people. That is why we are all here.
You know,
okay, that's it.
That's it. It's interesting.
We shouldn't be doing anything else. But we are doing everything but that.
It's interesting because it's like a lot of parents are complaining about the gender ideology in the schools, and I just think that at the end of the day, we need to be teaching kids that the kid next to them is a lifeline. You don't have to be teaching some specific belief in school. You just need to be teaching the kids that the kid next to them is a lifeline. If that child is gender nonconforming, that person will grow up being accepting. I grew up here in Portland. I'm accepting of everybody. People don't bother me if they're not hurting me. You know what I'm saying?
Accept pedophiles,
and if you're not hurting because it's a crime. It's a crime. So pedophilia is different, and the pedophiles have to be dealt with differently. They either need to be arrested or jailed, or I also suggest to them that they cuff themselves and take themselves down to the police station and do what they need to do to get well. Unfortunately, a lot of cops are involved in this. So
they won't do that. They're cowards.
That's true. That's true. But maybe if some high-profile pedophile in the community like J.W. Matt Hennessy, maybe if he would cuff himself, he could lead more pedophiles to jail. So I've been calling for him to step down because the black community needs him to step down badly. Okay? We have been being sent by police officers to a pedophile to get spiritual sustenance. It happened to me and my husband. I'm very upset about it. They sent me and my husband to talk to a child rapist about what happened to our daughter.
Why is he going to care?
And they didn't even tell us he was a child rapist. I found that out a few weeks ago, and I'm very upset that I even sat in a room with him.
No wonder why you decided to do anything to help our daughter.
Yeah, and I wrote him and I told him, I said, I had a choice about whether I wanted to sit in a room with you. And you took that from me, okay? So that is why I will publicly call for him to step down every single time I'm down here. Because they had no right. They had no right to make me and my husband and my daughter go sit with a child rapist and talk about this horrific event. That was wrong. And the police have done that to many, many people in the black community. And the black community deserves an apology from our leadership for that. And I don't know about all these other pedophiles running things around here because the white people are getting the same thing. Because everybody in this city and state is involved in this horrific cover-up, and it has to end.
So we're going to continue to get out here, folks, and we don't care what they tell us. Okay, they've been out here 4 times now to threaten us, okay, with jail, with fines, freedom of speech.
Amen. Amen.
The First Amendment, it is your right.
That's right.
It is your right to be out here talking, and we are going to be doing that. We don't care what anybody says.
We have to start telling the truth, or we're not going to get anything worked out. We have to turn away from these leaders that are making things worse. I mean, I've waded into some of these conversations that are going on in Europe about the refugees. People are literally becoming racist by the second, okay? It is horrific. And we're talking about people that are coming from war-torn countries. We do need these people to go back home because this isn't going to work.
But we can't have them going back to a completely demolished something that we caused.
Well, I think they'll go back. I really think everybody would kind of go back if we could make a couple changes. Like I said, let's get the factory wages up. And I don't know why all the Jewish people can't come here. I know that's a controversial thought, but America is dying. So that's the big announcement today. America is on life support. And there's going to be no America anymore, and there practically isn't. And we here in Portland know this because you guys are hearing this. But we just had a woman come here from Old Town. And you know what she said to me? I didn't even know you guys were here. She knew nothing about this. That means this story is not spreading. And that is a personal choice that every person who is hearing it is making. You know, in fact, when I checked our Facebook today, we lost somebody again. We're always losing people. We hardly gain. You know, people are running from this story. They are running from what happened here. Nobody wants to face it. But we need to start facing reality. We need to start figuring out how we all live together because our leaders, they're not trying to figure that out.
They don't want that for us.
They want us gone.
They want us gone. They literally don't want that for us. Why do you think there's so many people languishing in the streets? They're dying. They legalize drugs. They're proliferating its use. Okay, they want people to get rid of themselves.
And it wasn't to be kind. It wasn't because, we've gotten society to a point where we don't need
we
to be helping people with that.
We can responsibly use drugs, right? No, there isn't responsible use of drugs going on. There are people dying literally in the streets from overdoses.
Every day. And they did that because they don't want to help anybody. See, the faster you take yourself out of the picture, the better. That's all they've ever tried to do with me and my husband, is put so much stress and pressure on us that we would go kill ourselves and possibly kill our children. That's what they've been wanting.
And
that's what they pray for.
Else.
That's what they pray for every single day. That is what your leaders pray for, is for us to go away. They pray for you to go away because they need all this excess space.
And they don't want to deal with you.
Because they need room for their ego. See, you're just trying to take care of yourself, but they need room for their ego.
And that is literally 60,000 square feet, okay?
Or bigger. It can be the size of this whole planet. We could end up with one person here. Well, that is Satan's ego. It's the size of this whole place. He wants the whole place to himself. And that is what the mission the elites are on. They worship Satan, and they worship the money that Satan has granted to them. See, that's how you get a lot of money, is you worship Satan, so you worship money. Okay? And that's why people who have lots of money they're Satan worshipers. I'm sorry, they are.
It's a club. They got to let you in.
That's
okay,
right.
You got to do some very nasty things to get into this club. Okay, but once you're in, they'll prop you up. They'll give you whatever you want.
That's right. But you have to be...
Except for the truth.
That's right.
They're not going to give you the truth. The truth is that God loves you.
That's
and that
right.
you have a right to be here.
That's right.
No matter what.
That's right. Amen. We all have a right to be here, and we are all supposed to be helping each other. Every person around you is a lifeline, so you want them to be doing well. You should always be wishing someone well, okay? No matter what choice they're making, as long as they're not hurting anybody, okay?
If they're hurting someone, then that means that they need help. Okay? We don't need to be getting rid of people. We don't need to be making arguments for getting rid of people. We do not. We need to be caring for people on the planet. That's it. That's all.
And we need to be making sure that people aren't hurting people, because that's what's in high gear right now. Killing, stealing, raping. That's what humanity is up to on a large scale.
Abuse. This is on a level that, folks, has never existed on this planet before.
No.
Partially it's because there are so many more people now on the planet, but there is no reason why we should have a $150 billion a year human trafficking industry.
Right.
Like this is a business, right?
And I want to say it's very interesting to me, because I see on social media, the right's really putting out, it's all the gay and trans people that caused all this. Excuse me. The heterosexuals are the majority of the planet, and they got plenty of rape and killing and stealing going on too. Every group is having this issue because it's what is going on this planet right now.
That is what is being promoted. And it is being promoted by your leaders. It is being promoted by your media. It is being promoted by the people who are running our planet.
I mean, if you look at, countries like Russia and the Arab nations, China, where they don't even allow, people to be trans or gay, that's all completely in the closet over there. Still the same amount of child abuse, raping, killing, all of it. Same problem.
Russia has the most abortions on the planet.
Right. It's just like they hand them out like hotcakes over there. They are number one. So we need to start recognizing that this behavior of killing and murdering and raping, those are the behaviors we need to be concerned about. Not people making, I don't care if a man puts on a dress and some earrings and walks around. I don't care. I do think or a trans woman, trans man, I don't think, who cares? Just let's build some third bathrooms where that's a acceptable practice and move on. There's going to be countries that don't want to do it, but a big chunk of the world is doing it, and that's okay too. That means there's room for people, and that's what's important. We need to make space so people don't have to be in the shadows.
Folks, that's called diversity.
That's right.
Okay, and we want diversity. Diversity is a good thing.
Right.
It makes us stronger as a people.
As long as we are not hurting anybody. Now, if you're hurting people, like what they got going on over there in Afghanistan, somebody's got to get these women out of the house. It's so horrifying to me to think that you can't that you are shrouded and locked in your house for the rest of your life in the modern world. I can't imagine being treated like that. I mean, I kind of understand. I can really empathize because me and my husband are very shrouded here. I can empathize with marginalized communities because I understand what it means to be buried. I understand what it means to be shrouded. It's not a good feeling. Our media is doing that to me and my husband. They're doing it, and they're doing it well. If people in Old Town don't even know we exist, I mean, that's pretty incredible. There's a lot of people walking past here right now. I can see from the look on their face. Who are we? What are we doing here?
We've been here for almost 3 years, folks.
I mean, it'll be
same time,
3 years in
same
December.
Place.
Mm-hmm. You know,
everybody in Portland should know about us right now, but hardly anybody knows us.
And the question is why are people making a personal decision to bury this? Because that's a personal choice. Everything in life is a choice. I know some people don't agree with that statement, but I firmly believe everything in life is a choice, and there are plenty of fine choices as long as you're not hurting anybody. But you are hurting somebody when you don't tell somebody that we're here. You're hurting the victim because the victim here has not gotten justice, and she does want to move on with her life. And you know, us being activists has been very, very difficult for our kids, okay, because they've had to, this is a 16-year process. They've had to go to school like this. They've had to live like this with, you know, their parents being something that people reject, okay? Just, we are rejected because I think the entire idea of fighting for children is rejected unless it's just, you know, specifically in the space of the abortion argument, which we've gotten nothing done with that either. You know, we live on a planet where there's 73 million abortions a year when there's plenty of birth control to go around. It makes no sense. You know, that number should be coming down, but it's going up. And it's because people just don't care about people. You know, women are not being offered good choices. There are no good choices when your children are going to starve, okay? So I have a lot of empathy for that situation too. I think we could really, really change a lot of this if we just started caring for one another and caring for this experience.
In order to do that, though, folks, we need to start talking about the foundation of global human society. It should not be money. Okay, and right now they're doing this whole sleight of hand thing where they want you to switch the value from what we have right now to this central bank digital currency. Okay, where they're going to have complete control of every single expenditure that you make in your life.
That's right, and they'll turn you off and let you starve. No questions asked.
Just
That's what
look at what's going on in China. That's the model. Okay, the social credit score. That's the model that they want proliferated all over the planet. Okay.
And America's quiet right now. We are not standing up because our leaders, they already bought all this weef shit. Okay, they have their mansions and their bunkers. But me and my husband, we live in the above ground bunker, and those are the people we fight for. Even the ones that don't like us. You guys are all on our team. You are all on Team Life. You just don't know it. You need to start acknowledging what team you're on. You are the value. Do you understand? You are the value. And it's America that needs to stand up. We need to clean up our cities. We need to clean up our presentation of freedom to the world. And we need to make sure that we are taking care of our value. And that's our people. Okay?
That is the only thing that actually matters. Okay? It's people. Nothing else. Not gold, not silver, not cryptocurrency, not anything you can find on the stock market. And people, individuals do not belong being traded on the stock market.
Or traded in courtrooms.
Or traded anywhere.
That's right.
We are not a commodity. We are living beings. Okay? We are not a commodity. We're not livestock.
That's right. Amen. Amen. And people deserve to be free on this planet. They really do. And you know, I feel like a lot of people worked hard to build America, and watching America die right now, it's breaking my heart. Because I don't know if we'll be able able to build America again. We're in a real conundrum right now because if Putin decides to drop a nuke on America or if these nukes start flying, there's going to be no choices. None at all. And I don't want to see that. You know, America is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country.
This entire planet is.
We have so much here in America to enjoy and to care for. So why aren't we doing that? You know, people who end up on the street, they're not bad people, okay? They are people who have been down on their luck because we fostered a culture where we don't care about people. But we can turn that around. We can turn that around globally. America right now can make some really concrete choices that will have the whole world celebrating and wanting us to be better. I tell you right now, we could get the whole world in our corner if we would just do a few things.
Okay, we need to start divesting from war because we cannot afford war. Humanity just can't afford war. We can't afford it.
I don't think
we don't have any bodies to lose here on this planet. Contrary to popular belief, there is not too many people on the planet.
There's just a disorganized planet, and I wanted to say...
There are too many people who are not being properly cared for on the planet. I can agree with that statement, but there aren't too many people on the planet.
Well, what we have
more people.
What we have right now is an ideological war going on here, and there is a way to calm it down. So we need to start thinking about doing that. At least talking about doing it. It's getting so loud. We should shut it down soon.
We will. Folks, I just wanted you to know, okay, that we are out here to help you. Okay, we are trying to help you. We are trying to wake you up to what is really going on here on our planet. And I know the people in power, just like they ignore this protest, just like they ignore us, just like they want us to go away. Folks, that is the same thing that they want for you. They want you to go away. They want you to not need anything. They want to replace you with robots.
That's right.
That's not the direction that our world, that humanity should be going in. It's just not.
We need to be making a big shift right now. We need to be making a big shift right now. And people need to start paying attention because the satanic forces, they're going to do everything to bury this. Okay? They want fewer people here. I think the Georgia Guidestones wanted like 500 million. That's what these people want. These Satanists want. They want a world full of controllable robots, okay, and then themselves.
That kind of look like people.
Which is a terrible idea, and it's literally hell. I don't even want to come back to this. I would hate to be reborn on planet Earth after I die if they get what they are going to get done. Because it's going to be a nightmare.
And folks, they're working on it. Oh, man.
They are working on it hard.
They're working on it. They're working on it hard. They're working on it right now.
One of their problems is they don't believe in God, so they think they can transcend this world with this AI crap when the whole name of the game is learning how to care for life. That's the whole name of the game. So they're not going to transcend anything. They're going to end up in hell. But anyway, we're going to pack it in.
Folks, we are going to pack it in, but I do want you to know, okay, right now, the biggest problem on the planet is that people are not what is considered valuable. Okay, we have money. Okay, that's a big problem on our planet. Until we start questioning, we need to start a discussion about the foundation of our society. Why aren't people the foundation of our society?
And
why isn't people the reason why we are making decisions, okay, and doing things? That's the only thing that should be going on here.
And if that was our focus, we could start organizing people in a way that makes sense.
Something that actually makes sense for people.
Exactly.
Okay, not just for money.
Not just for money, not just what the money worshippers want, because that's what we're all being subjected to now. And we need to start turning away from their desires because they're excessive and obnoxious. Okay?
And they don't make any sense.
These people all over the TV, they think they're so special because they have a bunch of money. So what? So what? You made a bunch of money. Big deal.
Yeah, well, you're a good Monopoly player.
Yeah, that ain't a ticket to anywhere nice. Look where we all are.
Has anybody ever played Monopoly? Has anybody ever played Monopoly? What is the feeling that you get when the person wins? Okay, when you win at the game of Monopoly, you had to literally knock everybody else off the board. How do you feel when that happens? You feel good? No, these people don't feel good. They don't feel good, but they're trapped. Okay, and we are encouraging it by just going along with the garbage.
Yeah, everybody, one thing we've learned here in Portland with Rally, we've been so blessed, right? We've learned that if somebody doesn't have any money, nobody wants to hear from them at all. People of modest means, which most of us are, that's 99% of the planet. We all hate each other because we don't have excessive amounts of money. See, I have a lot more respect for people who don't hoard like that. Okay, I think hoarding is a mental health condition. It's a problem because there's no reason for it.
And there's
you don't need to be hoarding.
There's no difference when you do it with money, folks. It's still a mental health condition.
It's called greed. It's one of the 7 deadly sins. Anybody that's got billions of dollars in their bank account and is not distributing those funds so people can care for themselves, okay, that is satanic. And that is what's happened all over the world with exported slavery. We could very easily flip on a dime and export freedom by literally just raising the minimum wage to the federal minimum wage. These corporations are out of control. And I'm not asking anybody to move out of their castle. But, my God, can you stop keeping excessive amounts of cash around because people need to be able to care for themselves? We have people on this planet who work 18 hours a day and live in dirt holes. I don't want to look at it anymore.
That doesn't make any sense, folks.
Hard workers.
What is the incentive to get people engaged in our society if you're going to barely let them live?
Everybody here in America has benefited from these factory workers busting their asses. I think $7.25 an hour is fair. And I don't think Phil Knight or Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates is going to suffer if they have to pay that. I see small business owners busting their butts and being reasonable to take care of their employees. Why don't we export that expectation to the corporations? Treat your employees like they matter. You can't just go to another country and rub shoulders with some leader who whores out their people. That has to stop because it's causing all this migration, all this immigration that people are not prepared for. There is a better way. There is a better way.
We can make people the actual focus of our global civilization. That's right, folks. It doesn't make any sense that we are not why our society is being run. How did that happen? When did people not become the reason why we are running society?
I can't believe I see people, people thrown out like garbage all over the corner. My daughter thrown out like garbage all over the corner. Just thrown out like trash, just in the garbage can. Oh, it's garbage. People are not garbage, okay? Along with that other rule that I said, kids cannot consent because it's just universal law. People are not garbage. You have to understand that. We have to start acknowledging that, or we are going to be trapped in this hellhole. And I don't want to get trapped embraces it, thinks about it, and we will be back next week. Hi.
Turn that down, please, and then come down here and listen to this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your opinion, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, we appreciate everybody that comes down here, and you know, you can ask us to turn it down. We're not going to, but you can absolutely ask us to do it. No, we're not going to turn it down.
Why are you so angry?
Okay.
Because I can come down here and use it.
But you can walk away.
Yeah, I can't use it for 5 blocks.
Okay, well, you can
well,
walk to 6.
you can go that far away.
I can stay right here.
Okay, you can stay right here.
Yeah.
You're going to have to listen to it more. You're going to have to listen to it. You go ahead. You can bother us.
Yeah.
And if you want to come out and bother us, we are complaining about the abuse of our daughter.
He doesn't care.
The fucked up situation that we are experiencing here on this planet.
You know what? You're doing it the wrong way, buddy.
Really?
Okay, we're doing it the wrong way. Oh, you look like you got it figured
You got
out.
it figured out, right?
You got it figured out.
What's going on here?
You got it figured out.
How do we do it?
You're marinating in a hellhole, but you got it figured out.
Really?
What did he say?
I do believe that. Jesus never fails.
No,
And that's
Jesus
why we're
never
here.
fails.
That is why we are
That's
here.
right.
Because Jesus never fails.
That's
you got
right.
that right.
God
you got
wins.
That right.
God wins every time. So, if people want us to turn it down, it's funny to me because you have these satanic people all over your TV sets telling you what to do.
All
Both
the
parties.
time. 24/7.
24/7.
They're in your ear. They're on your phone. Okay?
And then they don't just tell you what to do. They pass actual laws. Law after law after law. We're getting the Restrict Act next. We won't be able to watch TikTok. What else does mommy and daddy say we can't do? And people aren't treated like adults on this planet. People don't act like adults on this planet. They're not treated like adults. Like right now, me and my husband should be able to have an adult conversation with the leadership, but there are no adults. Okay?
In the leadership.
Yeah, this is Lord of the Flies that we have going on down here on this planet. That's why we have children being assaulted and sold to the medical industry, sold to these pedophiles all over the world, people basking in their $150 billion raping kids industry with joy, everybody walking around like they don't see it. It's happening. It's happening. So we're going to end this with our mantra. We'll be back next week.
And we will be back, folks. You can depend on that.
We will do this until somebody makes it so we can't. Period, point blank. Because this world needs to change. I don't want to see it look like this anymore when there are simple solutions and they're just not being deployed because everybody is greedy and nasty. I'm tired of it. Okay, and I'm going to voice my opinion as loudly as I can. If the Satanists don't want to put me and my husband on TV, well,
that's fine.
and nobody wants to talk about what's going on here, well, then expect to end up in hell. Expect to end up in hell, because that's where we're all being drugged right now as we speak. So, and don't complain about it if you didn't share our story. Okay? Enjoy your trip to hell, if that's what you want. That's where you want to walk there. Me and my husband were walking the other direction. If you're coming with us, you're letting people know we're here. If you're going to hell, you're ignoring this, okay? And that's your choice. And like I said, there are infinite choices. You can choose to go to hell.
It's
up to you.
Some that are better than others.
That's
folks,
right.
okay?
It's up to you.
Because there are consequences to choices.
That's right.
There are consequences.
That's right.
Okay? And there is such a thing as universal law, and that's something that we don't understand here yet. But we will. We will.
Okay, so we're going to end this. We're going to say our mantra. We hope people join in. I'll let my husband kick that off.
Folks, it's very simple. I am the value.
I am the value.
You are the value.
You are the value.
We are the value.
We are the value.
We are the value together, folks.
That's right.
I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. We are talking about people. Their actual lives. Not money. Not gold or silver. Not cryptocurrency. You.
And
you
I
are
want to tell you
matter.
guys something. You see how the elites in the news ignore us? Every time you say that, you irritate those demons. And we
It's not a good place, folks.
So thank you,
We've seen a glimpse of it.
That's right.
We've stared directly at the belly of the